Here today, we've got Matt Willemsen from Collective Shift, Damian Amamoo from Doxed Capital, Akasha Roos from Cosmic Champs, Nicolas Roos from Play to Earn Online Magazine, Limarc Ambalina from Hackernoon, and Lewis Geisen from Cathion Gaming.
Hello everyone, I'm Damian Amamoo from Doxed Capital. I'm really excited about this session, which is about gaming and the rise of play to earn. We've got a fantastic panel lined up here today. We've got people coming in from overseas on Zoom, and we've got people right here in the audience that I'm going to introduce in a minute. And also, I'd like us to have a lot of fun. I'm going to cross later to the audience, so if the audience have got some questions that they might like to ask, just start filing them away and think about them, because we will be coming back to you if we can get the time and have a bit of roving mic and get you involved in the discussion as well. So just to kick off though, I'd like to... Who would like to start? We'll start with the room. Just the people on Zoom, just hang on. We're going to get to you. We're just going to do some quick intros. So if you'd just like to introduce yourself and just a quick background so we can get to know who you are. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. Happy to go first. I'm Lewis Grafton, COO at Cathion Gaming. Cathion Gaming is a blockchain gaming studio. You might have seen our founder speak a few minutes ago as well. So we're building games across many different titles and genres.
Thanks very much, Lewis. And
Lewis.
Matt?
I'm Matt Willemsen, Head of Research and Content at Collective Shift. So we are a subscription-based content and research provider focusing on all aspects of crypto, including gaming.
Very interesting. They've just got a stall just out there if you get a chance to go and have a chat to them. Really doing some really interesting stuff. Let's go to Zoom. I'm going to go to Akasha Rose from Cosmic Champs. Akasha, how are you?
Hey, I'm very well, thank you. Yes, I'm growth lead at Cosmic Champs, which is a free-to-play, play and earn mobile real-time strategy battle arena style game. So really excited to be here today.
Lovely to have you here, Akasha. And now Limarc Ambalina, I hope I've said that correctly, from Hackernoon, very exciting place. Tell us about yourself, Limarc.
I'm kind of amazed you said that perfectly on the first try. That might be the first time that's ever happened to me. But as he said, I'm Limarc. I'm from Hackernoon. We're one of the top blockchain and crypto publications on the internet. And we've recently been working with a lot of blockchain gaming companies to help with their content marketing, which is kind of how I got into the space. And on the side, I also am with the team of Ethermore, which is a blockchain RPG focused on story-driven narratives. But yeah, happy to be here and to be part of this discussion.
Lovely to have you, Limarc. And we've also got Nicolas Roos, who's head of content for Play to Earn Online Magazine. Nicolas, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me today, guys. So yeah, I'm Nicolas. I'm head of content for Play to Earn Online Magazine. It's an online magazine that started end of 2019, and we publish everyday news about chain gaming. So we publish regular news, game guides, and everything about blockchain gaming.
Nicolas, I think we're all jealous of your background there. We're here in a Sydney winter, and we're looking at those pandanus trees is making me feel very envious. So I think we're there, over there with you. Okay, let's get the panel discussion underway and have some fun and learn something. I guess the first question I've got really, it's around definition. We've got this huge merge happening between blockchain on one hand and then traditional gaming on the other. But just for the benefit of the people watching at home or people perhaps who are new to this space, would someone like to tackle this simple question of what is the difference between a traditional computer game and a blockchain play-to-earn game? Who'd like to tackle this one?
I'm happy to take it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the way we see it is the key difference is around ownership and what players are able to do in the game. So by tokenizing the economy and adding NFTs into the game in various forms, players are able to truly own the assets in their game. And that means that they have ownership and the ability to use and transact those both inside and outside of the game. And that's, I think a major innovation in terms of what it allows in terms of interoperability of assets between games and the ability for players to, earn and monetize their time within a game as well.
It's a bit of a new concept, isn't it? Because, I mean, computer or games have had in-game economies for quite some time. Traditional games, you can buy a sword or buy little bits and pieces, but is what you're saying that crypto gives the opportunity for people to potentially buy things or buy an NFT that you can then take outside of the game? Is that correct?
Yeah, and you can not only buy it, which you have always been able to buy things in games, but because you own it, you can also sell it. So rather than a single one-way flow of value from the players to the developers, it's a circular economy of flows where people are able to actually, get back some of the time and money that they have invested into a game.
Okay, we glossed over that word NFT, and I know it's been talked about in some of the other sessions, but just in case someone's just only watching this session, do one of my Zoom people want to just give a quick definition of an NFT? Good luck with that. Who wants to put their hand up?
All right, no one else is speaking, so it might be me, but non-fungible token. So in games, you'll be used to buying things like skins and avatars, and usually those are just things that you own in the game. But blockchain gaming, because it's on the blockchain, it tracks ownership cryptographically, and so it means that ownership of that NFT, like that skin or that avatar that you've used in the game that you've purchased or you've earned through playing the game, you officially own that. So it's something that then you can sell or hold on to. And the beauty of that is that now that rather that time and that money being seen as an expense in gaming, it actually becomes an investment. So over time, people are going to be more willing to sort of, invest in those NFTs, especially for like early games and early NFTs, because it's going to be an investment that will grow over time.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, my next question is here. Why should we be excited about this space? What's so special about it? Which games are leading the pack and which platforms are they being built on? Get us really excited about it. Who wants to talk? Limarc?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll take that one. So I think there's tons of reasons to be interested in blockchain games. And when I talk to people about it, I often say it's like we're the construction workers at the first ever Disneyland, and we're building the first rides. We don't really know what's going to come out of this yet. We don't know how big it's going to come yet, but it's pretty much certain that this will be the future of the industry. If I were to just choose one thing to try to get you excited about it, is I would say that NFTs and the ability to verify ownership digitally in a decentralized way is definitely the building blocks of the grand vision of the metaverse. That metaverse that we see in Ready Player One or the animes like Sword Art Online, it seems like it's far off in the future. And to get there, we need to start somewhere. And basically, blockchain gaming is where that's going to start, in my opinion.
Now, there was that word that just came out, metaverse. Again, for people who have just come outside or the newbies, I mean, there's been a lot of talk with Facebook about metaverses. Who wants to give us a quick definition of metaverse? Nicolas?
I can have a go at it, yeah. So, the metaverse definition, there is still a lot of debate around that, of course. We have an interesting piece on our website, so later if you guys are interested, you can check it out. But one thing that we believe in is, we said it before, is the interoperability. Facebook is developing what they call the metaverse, but how Facebook is doing things is a metaverse, but within the Facebook ecosystem. What's interesting with NFTs and assets ownership is, as the blockchain is public, is the interoperability between all those projects. And that's what, connecting those virtual worlds together. We've seen recently the creation of the Metaverse Alliance, the Open Metaverse Alliance that was just announced a few days ago. And those actors like the Sandbox, Animoca Brands, Alien Worlds, they're actually working together to create this metaverse, to create true interoperable virtual worlds. And I think, at least for blockchain gaming and for the blockchain version of the metaverse, that's what's really interesting. And to bridge all those universes together, be able to take my identity in one virtual world and use it in another one and have those bridges. So for us, that's what the metaverse is not only an individual virtual world, but a whole set of virtual worlds that are all interconnected and on the public blockchain.
It certainly sounds like a grand vision, Nicolas. I guess if I had a NFT jetpack and I was flying around a metaverse from one world, you wouldn't want to go to the next world and all of a sudden you run out of gas and fall.
Yeah, that's the risk. That's the risk of this open metaverse. But the fall won't hurt too much, so that's a good thing. But yes, like let's say you own this jetpack in the sandbox, and you're able to, go in another game, and yeah, you can use your jetpack, and I think that's something great.
All right,
that's for the benefit of players as well.
All right. Let's cover all sides of the debate. So I need to put my sort of sceptical hat on. We've seen some issues with sustainability in the sector. We've seen some projects launched. They've got rewards. They've attracted a lot of users, and then once the rewards drop off, people will leave. So can play to earn be a sustainable sector and attract and retain users over a long period of time?
Yeah, so as you rightly pointed out, last year, as metaverse and gaming, blockchain gaming really took off, we did see this this issue where things did not look sustainable. Speculation really took over, particularly with the likes of Axie Infinity, which I'm sure many are familiar with, where you saw essentially these almost mercenary actors who saw the financial opportunity of participating in these games, not because they enjoyed the game, but because they were able to generate revenue in many of these other countries, and therefore I guess the group of those mercenary actors essentially outweighed, I guess, the passionate early adopters of the game itself. So that's where this issue of sustainability really comes in, I suppose, to do with more things like the ecosystem design or the token design, which I'm sure your firm probably specialises in a lot more, which is the trickiest part. But you've seen this issue so much in the DeFi world as well, like decentralized finance, where they release a token, a bunch of these actors come in trying to farm the token, and then they sell it on secondary markets, and the actual passionate users of that DeFi application are also then left losing a lot of money. We're talking about purely from the financial sense in terms of sustainability in these models. I'm not sure if you can speak to any more issues to do with that, because there are a few.
When we look at crypto projects, sometimes there's usually only one governance token, so we're sort of assessing that. But play to earn can be very complicated because there are sometimes two token models. There's like a governance token and a rewards token. So it can be very hard to sort of wrap your head around. And that leads on to my next question, which is, if someone in the audience or even at home watching gets pitched a blockchain play to earn game to invest in, how do they evaluate it? What sort of things should they be looking for to work out whether it's a good project or not?
So maybe I can take this one, because we get pitched a lot of projects every day. You can imagine everybody wants to, be part of the game and want us to talk about their project. So there are a few things that we look at. The first thing I look at is the team. Can they deliver? We see lots of projects. There are maybe just blockchain developers, but they have no experience in gaming. Or game developers, but they don't have anyone in the team that's experienced in blockchain development. So I think it's a good team, a good balance. One thing we look at as well is the team public. I can understand for some reason some team members
are they doxed? Are they doxed?
Exactly. I don't see why a gaming project should have a fully anonymous team. Honestly, it doesn't make much sense, or maybe something shady in the background. So that's definitely the first thing and the most important thing we look at. And then the game. We're talking about gaming. In these early stages, a lot of projects, they just forgot about the fun parts. It's basically decentralized finance with cute graphics, okay, or cute animal. So, yeah.
Thanks, Nicolas. Limarc, you look like you've got something to say there as well.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I definitely agree with everything Nicolas said, but one of the main things I look at, since we get pitched a lot as well, is not what the team is planning to develop, but what they have already developed. If all your pitching is just this timeline 3 years in the future, as an investor, there's other games that already have things built that I can invest in. And the other thing is I like to look at what they're doing with NFTs in an innovative manner. Like, how are they utilizing NFTs? How do they plan to utilize it? If it's just it exists in our game and you can sell it on OpenSea, yeah, that there's a use case for that, but everyone's doing that. So I'm trying to see what people are doing that are creative, that are kind of out of the box, and trying to find creative projects that way.
I would also add that there's it's a mind-blowing number, but there's already 1,500 play-to-earn games out there, and they've only got about 35 million monthly active wallets. So there's already a lot to choose from, and not many active users. So that comes down to there being, is there a real product market fit of this particular game being developed? As in, is the blockchain game being developed actually a fit for people's gaming habits? And if we look at gaming habits, 2.6 billion of them are on mobile. They're mobile gamers. So you'd want to maybe think, like, is it a game that's suiting the actual gaming kind of lifestyle? So that's a really big thing. Like, is it a game that fits real people's lives, and what's the marketing like?
Absolutely. Now, if this is all going so well, as I believe that it is, this play-to-earn and blockchain gaming, why are we having some parts of the industry, the traditional gaming industry, giving the industry pushback? So we've heard recently, I think in the last few days, Microsoft Minecraft are pushing back and saying we don't want any NFTs or crypto in the games, or developers who are building on our platform. I think the gaming platform Steam has said something similar. So is this just something that's happening on the fringes, or is there possibility that this sort of blockchain bans could sort of spread more widely throughout the gaming industry? Anyone want to have a crack at this one?
I mean, certainly there is pushback in certain parts of the industry. At the same time, many of the big players are working towards this and looking at how they want to approach the market. So large game companies like Square Enix, for example, or Epic, who are, embracing, or at least working towards similar blockchain use cases themselves. I think there's certainly an instinct amongst some of the players to protect what they have, or to want to lock people out until they're ready themselves to take advantage of the shift in the market.
As,
sorry, you want more? Yep.
Yeah, as indie blockchain game developers, actually, we can be a little bit grateful that the traditional gaming sector is taking a little while to catch on to this, because it means there's more time for us to bring disruption. Because once big platforms like Epic Games, they're bringing on, is it Grit and Blancos and so forth, once they do embrace NFT gaming and play to earn, that's really going to be the watershed that brings on, those millions of people into blockchain and blockchain gaming, because we're expecting about 1 billion people coming onto blockchain in the next 10 years. I think a lot of those will be through the gaming sector. So it's really just a matter of time. It's going to hit us pretty soon.
It probably is. Now, I want to, I've got more questions up my sleeve here, but I want to give the audience a chance to ask some questions. So I've got Megan here with a roving mic. So if you'd like to raise your hand, just introduce yourself and let fire with your question, and our lovely panel are going to do answer it for you. Do the best job. Any questions? Any questions? I'm sure there's a question there from someone. Now's your chance. Play to earn, blockchain gaming, no? Shall I just keep on going with mine? Looks like I might. Silence is... Okay, I've got a question about VR. I went and did a VR escape room with a family recently. I'd never done VR before. I put this mask on and it really transported me to another world. It was a bit of a mind-blowing experience. I'm interested to hear from this panel about what's going to happen with VR in play-to-earn gaming. I wasn't actually able to purchase anything when I was walking around this VR escape room, but it was very exciting. But where do you think it's going to go in the future?
If you don't mind, I could take that one. I'm hardcore into VR, so I'm glad you asked that. And I think just like blockchain gaming, VR is incredibly early, despite the fact that Facebook buying Oculus made it go a bit faster. We're still incredibly early in the life cycle of development. But I think metaverse and VR go hand in hand. I think that's kind of the ultimate goal of the metaverse, is to be in VR. There actually are a few games right now that do have Web3 interoperabilities within VR. And there's one called Nexomon, I believe, that does it. But you're right, there aren't a lot out there. So I think in general, when we want to buy things on the internet or buy things in VR, the task is the same. I think the ideal goal is a decentralized proof of ownership, be it on your Google Chrome browser or on a VR game.
Anyone else like to add anything to that? The VR? No? Yep.
Well, yeah, I'm at home. We're quite fan of VR as well. So, and there are a few projects we're looking into that will come out. But you know, a VR game is a computer game or console game. So it's just a matter of time until publishers and developers hop into VR. And of course, as Limarc said, it goes hand to hand with the metaverse. So we can see projects like VR Chat, which is a big project, like social hub project on VR, and being able to own your avatar, create your avatar, or sell accessories that you own is definitely something that will happen in VR as well.
It sounds something very similar, choosing your avatar, but it was a total mix-up with my family. I think my daughter chose a man. She didn't know what, she just chose a bloke. And I said, is that my daughter? Is that you? And then my wife chose this Amazonian queen, and she was about 3 feet taller than me. I had to look up to her the whole game. It was quite funny. So, look, my next question is around risk. So for investors who are worried about risk, so how would you tag this sector, the play-to-earn gaming sector? Do you think it's a sort of like a risky sector or not a risky sector? What sort of things can go wrong?
I think relative to other crypto assets, you could argue it's riskier just because of how new it is, as you touched on at the very start. There's a lot of unknowns, and it's very much reminiscent in some aspects to the ICO era in terms of like promises of what is going to happen in the future. So in terms of risks, we talked about, we touched on earlier some of the execution risks and things involved with vetting the team and whatnot. Some risks that are probably more specific to the play to earn space is probably what I touched on a bit earlier. It's like how finding out information about how the team intends on releasing their tokens, whether they're doing it over a gradual period or all at once. And there's some other risks as well. I'm not sure if you had anything else to say on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think like many of those risk aspects can be mitigated or minimized by, doing the right research, right? Like if you get the right team, if you looking at people who have already had a lot of traction in building a product, have a track record of building product, you can mitigate the risk that, the game itself doesn't arrive. I think, in terms of risk in the sector generally, I think, where you have a high quality game with a lot of entertainment value, you can get more comfortable that there will be a user base, that there is an underlying utility and something of value there beyond, just the tokenization. And I think that does stand it apart from maybe some DeFi applications that are, very financialized with less fundamentals behind them.
I would also add just there, risk in terms of another way to look at it is what blockchain is it ultimately deployed on, or what blockchain they're working with, because some carry, I guess, greater risk than others. So that's another thing to consider. Or what layer 2 technology, if they're on the likes of Immutable X or Polygon, which is soon becoming a layer 2 technology. There's those aspects which are more specific to each game.
How should people from the outside? It's quite a learning curve, really, because there's all the different gaming projects, and then, like for example, Akasha's project is on Algorand. There's Flow. There's Ethereum with all the layer 2s like Starkware and Immutable. There's there's Solana, there's so many different platforms. People are going to be confused. So what can we say to people about how relevant is the chain that the game is being built on?
I'm happy to take that. Well, there's been, I think we're on track for about $12 billion being invested into blockchain gaming this year. And the top 10 investors are often the chains. So I think we've got Solana in there, FTX, Polygon, of course, gaming's big on Belgrand as well. So there is a level of complexity as in which chain do I choose. All these chains have got benefits for them. They're all pretty good chains. The real thing that I would say is that blockchain investment is a risky business for anyone, even seasoned investors. But what is beautiful in gaming investment specifically is that we have this culture of guilds and gaming investment DAOs. So if you are new to investing in blockchain gaming, check out DAOs like Path DAO, which is specifically there to attract, major deal flows. Because if you want to make money investing, you always have to get in early. And the trouble is that particularly with games, the game might not exist yet. And there's all these risks associated with hacks or rug pulls. But when you're investing as part of a DAO, you've generally got the intelligence of the crowd. You've got a lot of deal flow. You've got other people there assessing the projects and being able to vet it with you. So it's a great place for a beginner to be.
Fantastic. Thanks, Akasha. Limarc, do you want to add anything there?
Totally. I would say on top of that is a point on community. I'd say for new people, one of the best things to look for in a blockchain game is how strong the community is. It's totally above board to walk up there and say, hey guys, I'm new to this game. Why should I spend $200 on this NFT? What's this $200 going to get me? And if you're not satisfied with that answer, then you probably should look at a different game,
And I would just add there, in terms of community, just don't look at numbers, because often the numbers are fake or bots. You definitely go into the Discord, go into community, and check out who are the real people, and don't just rely on numbers. Really look at the sentiment of the people in the community, who are interacting with you.
Now, Akasha, you also introduced a word in your response, DAO, or Decentralized Autonomous Organisation, yin and yang, or whatever we might like to call it. But from the people who are outside of crypto and new to crypto, what are we talking about with a DAO?
Yeah, so it's basically an organisation like we might be familiar with, except that its agreements and contracts operate on the blockchain. So for example, you'll hold a governance token as part of that DAO, and then you'll get to use that to vote. And it might be that if a certain amount of people vote, then the DAO Treasury will automatically invest, for example, in a particular proposal. So it's ways that you can use the power of the crowd, but everything's on chain. So you have that history, that transparency, but at the same time you have the benefits of working with a big group of people.
Okay, we've just got to thank you very much. We've got a couple of minutes left, so I'd just like to give everyone a chance to where are things heading in the future type of ending comment. So, Matt, would you like to just comment about where you think things are going?
Yeah, I think some things that excite me with respect to blockchain gaming are still probably a while away, just in terms of on-chain reputation, things to do with your identity, and I guess having a history of on-chain activity, which in decades to come will be like a very strong that provenance factor. I think there's just so many use cases there, but they're just extremely hard to do once things are so nascent at the start. Also, things that will be upcoming that get me excited are more these esports style tournaments as well, which haven't really seen too many of those, which you can tie in NFTs, and mostly NFTs in many ways there as well, which I haven't seen to date. But more generally, just I'm excited to see these blockchain games release, which, as we said, it's only been 1 year, still, another 2 to 3 years, depending on which game it is. I'm excited to see what they're made of and if they're actually fun to play, which is ultimately the main thing.
Fantastic. Matt, Lewis?
Yeah, I'd second that and emphasize, we've seen, I guess, the first iteration of blockchain gaming with relatively simple games from like a gameplay and entertainment perspective. We're about to see this next wave roll out of games that have been in development for longer, that have more depth of gameplay and more entertainment factor. And I think that's going to be the game changer for the sustainability of those game economies, where there's that depth to keep people involved and participating over the longer term.
Thank you, Lewis. Nicolas, where's it all heading? Just quickly, we've only got... Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So as it was said, the quality is gonna move up. We're this year and next year we're gonna see those first real AAA quality games powered by blockchain coming out. So that's really exciting to see, and it might bring traditional players, bring them over to blockchain gaming. And then on top of that, I see when traditional gaming studios are gonna adopt blockchain, I see blockchain as a feature in the games. I think we're gonna stop talking about blockchain gaming, but more blockchain as a feature in an actual game as we know games for now.
Thank you, Nicolas. Akasha, final words?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of beautiful games that have blockchain in the background, whether they're existing AAA games or AAA studios or new disruptive games like Cosmic Champs that are being built right now. It's very, very exciting because it means that all our interactions on the internet and the metaverse will be changing really, really rapidly. And I look forward to a much more fair and inclusive and better user experience for all the gamers around the world.
Thanks, Akasha. Limarc?
Yeah, quickly, I'll just say that the traditional gaming industry, I think, is already adopting this, and they just don't know. So instead of playgrounds now, kids are hanging out on Fortnite. And instead of showing off your sneakers on the playground, you're showing off your avatar in Fortnite. And as soon as big companies like Epic Games make it so that your Fortnite currency is also spendable elsewhere or sellable elsewhere, we'll see huge adoption.
Well, look, thanks very much to all of our panel. Perhaps we could just give a quick round of applause to them for doing such a great job. And thanks for hanging with us for Gaming and the Rise of Play to Earn. Hope you had fun.